Okay, in this video what we're going to do is we're going to look at the join command that's going to let us do an inner join, which is pretty much what we've been doing with our joins to this point, where we use the where clause to match up our keys in our tables. So we could use an inner join command, which I'll show you an example of. The join command also has outer joins, left joins, and right joins built in, to where if you want to select rows from one table that maybe don't have corresponding rows in the other table, that's hard to do when we were matching up keys. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a simple query. We're going to select owner information and join it to the condo table and look for owners that are paying less than $500 in condo fees. So let's go ahead and select owner dot last name, owner dot first name, condo unit dot condo ID, and let's get their condo unit dot condo fee also, just to show it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select this from the owner table. Instead of using both tables here, you just put which table is your starting table, and then you inner join your next table. So in this case, we're going to inner join condo unit. Now you still have to tell it how to join. It can't automatically figure out those fields, so you still are going to have something similar to our where clause, but this time you're going to inner join on. And so in this case, we're going to say owner dot owner num from the owner table. We need to make that equal to the owner num in the condo unit table. Alright, then we have our where clause. It's going to be less than 500, and then let's just order it by owner last name. Alright, so I do want to point out that another thing that the inner join does is it separates out your join information here, and then your where statements fall back to just being criteria that you're selecting on. So let's run this and take a peek at what we get. So we get add name Bruce, it's ordered by last name, and we come over here and we take a quick glance to see that all of those are indeed under 500. So again, that's nothing different than what we did in the very first video with our join statements, where we used where to match up all of the primary foreign keys, just a little bit different syntax. Now what we also can do is we can get a list of all of the records from one table and then the matching tables from the other. So unlike a regular inner join, there doesn't have to be matching tables. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a request. We're going to say we want to see all of the condos, and we also want to see if they have service requests attached to them or not. So what'll happen is if we pull a record that doesn't have a service request, then that field will be null. Okay, so we're going to do that using a left join. So we're going to select condo unit, condo ID. We're going to look at the service request table. We're just going to pull the description of what it is and the service request status, I guess. Doesn't really matter what we pull here. We're going to pull it from condo unit, which says we want the condo unit to show up regardless of whether it has a service request on it or not. And what we're going to do, instead of an inner join, we're going to do a left join. And we're going to left join service request. And we still need our on statement to figure out what they're going to join on. And we're going to set those equal to those condo IDs in both tables. So let's give that a run, and you can see what the results will look like at this point. So we run that, and I have service requests status. I have an underscore instead of a dot, it looks like over here. Let me change that real quick. Service request dot status. That should fix it. Oops. And run in. And so what we have is condo 2 has a description of the service request and the status of it over here if we scroll over. But as we go down, we'll notice that condo 8 is returned in our list, but there are null values in description and in status because they actually don't match up with a record in the service request table, and but they're still included because we did our left join. So that's our last bit of joins. In the last video for the chapter, we're going to look at the union and intersect.